And you're an entertainment attorney, so you may have an insight on this, but this one feels like celebrity justice. And I'll tell you why. You saw that video. Very, very scary. And he also, we find out, there's been reports that he also has an extreme risk protection order prohibiting from having guns. Now, that incident was under seal, so we don't know what happened there, but that exists as well. This situation seems dangerous. So, Matthew, tell me your thoughts on it.
Well, a couple of things. Number one is bail is strictly to determine whether or not he's going to be a flight risk. Is he going to come to court when we need him next? And two, whether or not he is going to ultimately be a threat to others and to society. Now, this video, I agree with you, Michael. It shows he's pretty aggressive. And not only that, I mean, we're not talking about just anyone. We're talking about a Pro Bowl player, a possible future even Hall of Famer in that sense, but ultimately, quite a sizable person, capable of breaking down that door if you really wanted to. Now, with that being said, a couple things. Number one is, I don't know if Mr. Sherman is a flight risk. I think anywhere he goes in the country, we're going to know who he is. He's going to be pointed out. Another thing is, he seems to be on antidepressants. He seems to be intoxicated. I think he needs help. I don't know if he needs to be behind bars. That may make things worse. But ultimately, and the biggest thing to point out is bail was very nominal in nature. I mean, when you're talking about bail, one thing that the court looks into, if we're really assessing, flight risk, is to be able to set bail at a certain amount where it would deviate, it would vitiate the fact that he's a flight risk. And that the prosecution didn't even seek that. So is it a little bit of celebrity justice? That's possible. I actually think the fact that he can't possess guns aids the court in being able to allow him to leave on bail. The fact that he can't be armed, that he can't be more dangerous, that's a positive thing. That's not a bad thing. And if I was his attorney, that's exactly what I would argue. So this ruling on allowing him, to leave, not be incarcerated while he undergoes this, makes a lot of sense to me. If anything, it actually gives him a platform, an ability to, one, apologize, but two, start the process of seeking help, getting help, and showing the court that you're engaged in that process. That's what's going to help you.
All right. Now, I want to look at this as a larger issue. This is a domestic violence situation. Quickly, I just want to read something that his wife said after he was released. She says, he didn't harm anybody. I want to read the other one there. He didn't harm anybody. My kids were not harmed in the incident. He's a good person. This is not his character. We're doing all right, just trying to get him out. I want people to know no one was injured. Again, this feels like covering up, Matthew, because again, earlier on when she called 911, when he was first starting that night, she said that he was being belligerent, had been drinking heavily, spoke of killing himself. Here's my fear. The family, when we talk about someone being a harm to the community, the family is first and foremost. I feel like there might be some threat to the family, and the system has to look at someone like this who's having these mental issues. She said he's depressed. He's on drugs, and prescription drugs, and he's in counseling. But the system seems ill-equipped to deal with it. Is there more the system should do in this situation to protect the community, but more importantly, to protect the family?
Yeah. Listen, the fact that his wife is coming to his side here, especially in a domestic violence setting, it seems to be like a big factor. And actually, I'm sure it is, okay? It weighs on everyone's heart, and everyone takes it into consideration. But we're talking about the law. We're talking about prosecution and how they could possibly get a conviction here. They don't need his wife, or any statement she says is completely incidental. They have the evidence right here. We're looking at it. And ultimately, that's what they need to be able to, to express this. Now, once again, I think that this is someone who's on antidepressants. There seems to be some facts of him speaking about killing himself. What I think he needs is help. He needs, help in that arena to be able to start to then, come back from this and ultimately continue even on with his career. So ultimately, this is maybe not someone we need to incarcerate. I agree with you. Is he a bit of a danger? He seems to be expressing a lot of frustration here towards his in-laws. And they feared for their lives. I mean, you hear the 911 call. She's scared. She's not. That's not someone who's ready to let someone into their house. So ultimately, is there a lot here? Yeah, but I think ultimately getting the right kind of help is the right resolution in this case.
Yeah, I agree. And hopefully it sounds like he's contrite and will get that help. Just a quick note on him. He's a free agent right now, looking for a team. Again, as you mentioned, Pro Bowl style player, graduate of Stanford, someone who has been very vocal on behalf of players on the NFL, someone who has a lot of respect throughout the country for not just his work on the field, but off the field as well. So I certainly hope the best for him and his family. All right, Matthew, we're going to take a break right